Off he goes, and the clock is ticking. Meticulously stage your crime scene.
Yeah, so that's a scene from the movie Gone Girl, where a woman fakes a violent crime against her and then tries to frame somebody else for it. And it serves as a unfortunate reminder that we can't always take people at their word, that we've got to dig deeper and make sure that the story checks out. Otherwise, we can all be manipulated into demonizing someone. We can be a pawn in a bigger game that's being played. And with the rise in political violence in America, one side is often trying to demonize the other and place blame that might not be justified. So, what happens if somebody fakes political violence and tries to blame the left to score political points? In other words, what if somebody tries to gone girl us liberals? Well, I'm shocked to say this, but we just had a case of that. I am happy to say, though, that the truth did come out, but this story is truly shocking and disturbing, and a sign that MAGA will do almost anything to own the libs and make Trump look like he's the good guy. So, hit subscribe to Really American Media as we head to New Jersey, where over the summer, reports came out about a woman that had been violently assaulted. This is Natalie Green. She's 26 years old. She's a Rutgers law student and was working for New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, a Republican, when a call came into 911 claiming that Green was being attacked by three men in a nature preserve and that, quote, they were attacking her. They were like talking about politics and stuff. They were like calling her names. They were like calling her racist, calling her a whore, end quote. When police arrived, they found Green like this, tied up with zip ties. Her shirt was pulled over her head and her body had been mutilated. She had cuts all over her, and the words Trump whore were written on her stomach, and Van Drew is racist was written on her back. She claimed that her attackers held her at gunpoint while they did all of this. So the FBI were called in and they interviewed Green and the person who called 911, and their stories did not match.
Federal prosecutors have charged a woman from New Jersey who was a former staffer for Congressman Jeff Van Drew with conspiracy. She's accused of staging an attack on herself. And we do want to warn you that some of the photos we're about to show you are graphic. Federal prosecutors say 26-year-old Natalie Green of Ocean City claimed three men tied her up at gunpoint inside a nature preserve in Egg Harbor Township back in July. But prosecutors allege Green paid someone to deliberately cut parts of her body, including her face, neck, and back. And federal authorities say that it was all staged and a co-conspirator called 911. Green was found inside the park with her hands tied and derogatory words written on her back.
Yeah, so investigators are asserting that she paid $500 to a so-called body modification artist to use a scalpel to cut her based on a pattern that Green herself came up with. Green had recently done internet searches for body mods and scarification, and the unidentified person who called 911, who is now a co-conspirator, had searched for zip ties for sale near me. Green is out on bond and has been charged with one count of conspiracy to convey false statements and hoaxes and one count of making false statements to federal law enforcement. Now, listen, a motive has not been disclosed. But whatever her endgame was, she was clearly trying to frame Trump haters on the left and feed into this narrative that the Democrats are the party of political violence, even though the facts tend to show otherwise. As for Natalie Green, she no longer works for Congressman Van Drew, whose office put out a statement saying, quote, we are deeply saddened by today's news, and while Natalie is no longer associated with the congressman's government office, our thoughts and prayers are with her. We hope she's getting the care that she needs. And we all know what thoughts and prayers are worth. Not a whole lot. And an online comment summed this up pretty nicely by saying, another poor woman with obvious mental issues taken in by the Trump MAGA cult. Hopefully she gets the help she needs and that these scars won't be a permanent reminder of how far she had fallen, end quote. And speaking of the Trump MAGA cult, this is crazy. Did you hear that our president seems to be calling for the execution of several prominent Democrats? I wish that was a joke, but it's not. This insanity is in response to this video that 6 Democrats put out And I would like to point out to you, these people are all veterans.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly.
Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy.
Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day
To keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad,
But from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
you must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
In the Army,
Our Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
our Constitution,
and who we are as Americans. Don't give up.
don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Yeah, that phrase, don't give up the ship, it's a military thing, and it means to never surrender and to keep fighting, especially when the odds are stacked against you. It's in response to the fear that Trump is going to give our soldiers unlawful orders, like, blowing up boats in international waters or invading a country that we're not at war with. And this triggered a deeply unhinged response from Trump, who said, quote, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country." And on a quick side note, both dangerous and country were capitalized for some reason. Lack of education, I'm guessing. He went on to say, quote, "Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up," end quote. Now, being a traitor is punishable by death, but I wouldn't blame you if you assume that our president cannot possibly be suggesting that we execute members of the opposition party. Well, the president also reposted this gem saying, "Hang them. George Washington would." And if you're still not convinced, our dictator in chief then sent out his very own post saying, quote, "Seditious behavior punishable by death." Please let that sink in while I show you some of the comments on this insanity, like, quote, 47 is really liking the killing part of his dictatorship. Of course, that's to be expected from a historical perspective. In any case, urging soldiers to resist illegal orders isn't insurrection, it's international law. Very true. Or this one, quote, "This is rich coming from the clown who stoked the January 6th mob." Listen, one thing is clear. Not only does MAGA not denounce political violence, they encourage it.
Mark, you compare today's political divisiveness to the 1960s. How is it similar, and what makes today different?
The 1960s were another time of great upheaval and discord and division. And we saw in that decade, in just 5 years, Diane, the assassinations of John F. Kennedy, of Malcolm X, and in 1968 alone, the back-to-back assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy. So again, another time of great change and great heated political rhetoric.
And with that, I'm just going to encourage you to comment below with your thoughts on the state of political violence in America and these recent attempts that we have seen by MAGA world to escalate things instead of de-escalating things, which is what we desperately need. So please, get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.